Hey guys, here with Apollo after their loss to TSM, unfortunately. Sorry about that, Apollo.
No problem.
So, as a former coach, I have to ask you guys about the draft. You guys picked Jace early when both solo lanes were revealed from TSM. So, yeah, I kind of want to ask, what the hell happened with the draft?
I mean, we're fairly confident with like our draft. So it was basically like we knew that like our flex pick. I mean, we had like flexible picks like with Jason Orn, and then we figured like this is going to be a good blind pick for us, even if we go into the bottom lane. And we had like really good pressure with this lane, and just going into mid game, we knew we were going to be stronger. So that's pretty much it.
So, watching, I felt like best way to describe it is you guys got too cute with flex picks. Do you guys think if you weren't too focused on flexing the picks and maybe drafted to counter the solo lanes, it might have worked out better for you guys?
Well, but I mean, didn't we? I mean, we had good matchups in our solo lanes. So, like, we had Ryze versus Lissandra, which we felt like was good. And then Aatrox versus Aurelia maybe was more of a skill matchup, but I mean, I don't really remember exactly how we went. I think they more misplayed than, like, Colin winning. But I felt like we had, like, a good bottom lane pick as well. So, just in my mind, if we have, like, 3 or at least 2 winning lanes, like, even though, yeah, maybe it was, like, we could have like a better team comp overall. If we're winning our lanes and we get like a huge gold lead, then there's no reason for us not to be able to close out the game.
So for a lot of the lower tier teams, the biggest worries, and also being on a lower tier team myself, is how do you keep the team atmosphere positive even through the losses and looking forward into next week or the next game? How are you guys dealing with the losses, and yeah, what are you guys trying to do to make sure the atmosphere is still positive?
I mean, I think it just depends on the losses too, right? You know, like we know that these games that we're playing, they're not like blowouts. Like we're not getting completely outclassed. A lot of the times we're just making our own mistakes, and I think as long as it shows that we're improving, it shows that we're like willing to fight these guys, then I think it's totally like I think the atmosphere is totally fine. I've been on a lot of losing teams, as you know, a lot, and this is not nearly as bad as any of the other teams I've been on. You know, we're all pretty positive. We know that we made like a few mistakes. Like it's just gonna happen. This is just normal. This is just regular season. It's super early. It was a little sad that we kind of threw away our lead and we threw away like basically a game, but it happens. Like we're gonna come back tomorrow, do the same thing.
So what is EchoFox's goal for this split? Like, are you guys trying to make playoffs? Are you guys looking a little bit more long term? Maybe just trying to grow the players? What is this EchoFox roster trying to achieve?
I mean, I'd say playoffs for sure. I think we are a playoff level team, just taking a little time to get there. Yeah.
So one thing that's been said a lot about the current LCS after week 1, I know, is that there's top tier teams and then there's lower tier teams, and the divide is really clear. So I kind of want to grab your opinion on that. Like, is the divide really clear for you?
I mean, I kind of agree with that. Right now, I think probably the best 3 that are, I mean, they may be like one notch higher than it should be is like, well, okay, TL are obviously like up there, right? And then I think C9 and FlyQuest are like pretty high up there, and then everyone else is maybe around the same. So I do kind of agree there is like a little like little difference between those like the level of teams, but yeah, besides those 3, I think everyone else is pretty similar.
So I also want to ask about scrims, because what happens in LCS is as it goes on, the better and better teams only try to scrim each other, right? And there becomes like a scrim block with like the best teams, and then the lower teams, you can never get scrims with the good teams. So it also makes it really hard to improve. So what's scrim culture been like for you guys, and are you guys getting a lot of those scrims?
I mean, we're still getting good teams for now. We're it does depend on how well the scrims do too. Even if you're losing on stage, if you have good scrim performance, then you're still going to get good scrim partners. And I don't think it's like I haven't really been on a team where it's super like evident where like we're only scrimming like challenger teams, like lower tier teams, except for maybe like back on Envy or something. But like even on Clutch, when we're like, I don't know why people scrimmed us, but they still did, and it was still like the decent teams, right? So I think it's gonna be the same with EchoFox. I think we're still good enough to like compete with these guys. I don't think it's like, oh, you have to start scrimming your challenger team now because you're so bad.
Aren't you and Hako getting to the point where you guys are just playing with people in mid and jungle that work very together well in mid and jungle, and you guys don't get a lot of resource? Isn't it? Yeah, it's been like almost 2 years now, right?
Well, I think we. Hey, no swearing. I mean, we get resources, like, kind of maybe not the right word. It's like, we're calling for things, and we're calling for things that we need. Maybe it's not necessarily like ganks, because in this meta, ganking bot lane is like, first of all, it's matchup specific, and really it's more about like pressure rather than like actual ganks. So, and I don't mind either way if we're getting resources or we're not, as long as we're playing like the team game, as long as like our end goal is that we're gonna win this game, whether it's like through us or not.
So there was a bug that happened today where Phoenix casted his Ryze ultimate, and both Hakuo and Phoenix were on top of the ultimate, but only Phoenix got ported. Did you notice that happen?
I didn't notice it happen, except for I thought in my mind I thought it was just Nick that didn't want to take it. Like that play specifically was pretty hectic, and I think it was a little too hyphy. So it was just, I thought it was just like a mistake that Nick didn't get in, or Hakuo didn't get in.
So he was actively trying to get in or get out. What was going on?
I thought he was actively. I thought he was getting out. Like, I thought he didn't want to take it, but I guess I don't know. Maybe I don't know what happened.
So it's still not 100% confirmed that it's a bug, but according to the Reddit thread and Twitch chat, it is. I know those aren't the best source.
Very reliable sources that you got there.
Yeah, but you can call a remake or a Chrono Break. So I was very curious, like, if you guys took that or not, if you guys actively chose to or not, but it sounds like you guys didn't even realize what happened.
Yeah, none of us realized, I don't think. We just like the call was it was just a really bad call, so I'm gonna just get past that.
Wait, you have to let me know, what was the call? What was the call?
So we were talking about like going to Baron, right? Yeah. And then Ryze said like Phoenix was saying I can Ryze ulti to Baron, and then he was like, oh, I can look here too, and then he ulted towards the enemy, right? And then Colin was already like, dipping to Baron. I was like, what's going on? And then Nick was like going to go into the portal, right? And I don't want to go in because I'm going to get one shot. And then that happened. So, and it was it was a small misplay.
All right. I've held you captive long enough. Let's close out the interview. Do you have any final words for EchoFox fans that are worried, or any of your personal fans that are kind of, not the happiest with what's been going on?
Are you happy?
I mean, as a Polo friend, last year in summer, you were in pretty unfortunate situation with Clutch, like, just blowing up. And I always thought of you as a good player. And then this year on EchoFox, I feel like even if you play well, there's so much random factors on the team. I'm not sure how well you'll do. So, yeah, that's my personal feelings as, like, a friend and a fan. Do you have any words for?
I do have some words. Don't worry. Okay, things are looking up. I do agree. There are some random factors right now, like, it's a little chaotic, but we're trying our best. I think I'd rather it be more chaotic and like aggressive than to have the opposite where we're not doing anything. So don't worry, we're still practicing really hard, and I think we're still going to be a good team.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for the interview. And if you guys enjoyed the interview, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much to Low-Key Community for making this interview happen. If you guys want to support them, the link is going to be down in the bio.